Hello and welcome to Amethyst Style Crafting. My name is Jane Ormark and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. And today we're going to be working with this wonderful stamp set called Magical Mermaid. And we are going to be doing this card, which is a masked triple mermaid, which I thought was rather pretty. So let's get started. What we need first of all is a piece of Whisper White cardstock, which measures 5 1/4 by 3 1/2. And we are going to take the Magical Mermaid stamp set, and we have already cut out. The first thing you need to do is to stamp the image and then to cut yourself a mask, because we need to be using a mask for this particular card. And then we are going to take the Magical Mermaid, I've already put it on a block, and we are going to ink that up in our archival basic black. Let me move that card out of the way so I don't get it all inked up. And we are going to, with a large one like this, what we need to do is we need to make sure that we are inking the image itself. So I'm just doing this off camera because I need to ink it quite well, right the way over. And then we are going to put the first one, I'm going to bring it down a little bit so my head's not in the way. We are going to put the first one out on this side like this. Give it a firm press. And then pick it up. Lovely. Now we are going to ink up the second one. And we are going to use the mount that we've just cut out to go over the top of the mermaid to cover it. So when we put the second image in, I'm just going to hold it quite carefully, and we want to bring the image just down just a little bit. So the next one is going to go down probably just about a head's worth, and then we're just going to put it in like that and pick it up. Oh, I didn't even get it across. Oh yes, I did, just on the tail. That's fine. And then the third one, we are going to put the mask over the second one, and we're going to bring it down again just a hair's breadth, so about again about a head, so the head of the mermaid just down, and again just bring it off, put it down, press it firmly, and then pick it up. And again you'll see that when you take it off you've got all the tails going through, but obviously it's not actually across the mermaid. And then while we're at it, we are going to ink up the sentiment, which is "Have a Magical Birthday." And we are just going to put that down in the bottom corner like that. Okay. Then we are going to, let me just close that ink pad up. We are going to be using Marina Mist, Crushed Curry and Pool Party, and we are going to be using the coordinating Stampin' Right markers, so the Crushed Curry, the Pool Party, and then instead of Marina Mist, because we want the mermaids to be a little bit brighter, we are going to be using Bermuda Bay and Island Indigo. So easy way to do the scales of the mermaid is literally just to dot across and work it down fairly sort of randomly down the way through onto the body, and again on the second one, doing the second one a little bit paler because you want it almost like a bit of a reflection coming through, and the third one a little bit paler again. So just not as many dots on there. So that was, start with the Island Indigo, then the Bermuda Bay, and exactly the same on this one. Obviously you want this one to be the darkest one, because doing the 3, it then makes it perspective. It looks as if they're almost sort of shadowing a bit. So the second one, not quite as many of those, and again just smaller, lighter dots on there. And then with the pool party, you can be a little bit more filling in the pieces. Again, you want to make it look sort of scales. So by just doing light sort of stroking motions, it gives that sort of impression of the scales. And again, this one we're doing it just a little bit paler on there, and again on this one a little bit paler. Okay, and now we're going to take the crushed curry for her hair, and to get the texture of the hair, if you just do stroking motions across where her hair is sort of being blown by the water, it gives, when we blend that through, and then just sort of a little piece up on the top here, like that. And then what we need to do is we need to then take the, and we're going to use the Marina Mist for this, so we're going to squeeze the pad, open it up, have the little pool at the bottom, and we're using our aqua painter, and we are just going to pick up some of that blue, and we're then going to fill in the scale part of the mermaid. And again, what happens is it blends it through, but it still gives that definition of colour, which is quite nice. And we're going to do the second one just slightly paler. And the third one we're going to do, we're not actually going to take any of the Marina Mist, to just make it a little bit paler as well. Now for the tail on this, I'm just going to use the Marina Mist and bring it through, because what you want is for the tail to be quite sort of subtle, and it's easier to blend it through with the aqua painter and a little bit of paint than it is, or a little bit of ink rather, than it is to paint it through with the marker completely, because it gives it more of a subtle look. And then the second one, we're just going to take just a little bit less to make it paler. I'm going to pick up a little bit of pool parsley for this one, so I'm just taking it round on the edges to give the definition a little bit, and then just in on here and down on the other one that comes off. And then we're going to take the pool party, and again give it a bit of a squeeze, get your little pool in the well, pick it up, and then we want the stronger colour on here, so we can then just blend it through a little bit, and by just doing it through where the lines are on the fins, it just picks it up a little bit more. So, and again this one we want it just a little bit paler, so we're not picking up quite as much, and we're blending it through just a little bit more. And the last one, hardly any at all, but just enough to sort of shade it through where there's just a little bit of definition through on the tail. Okay, so now we are going to take the crushed curry. Let me just clean my brush off a little bit, and we are going to again squeeze the pad, open it up, little bell in the centre, and we are going to take some of this and go through, because then where you've done the Stampin' Right marker, it gives more definition, so you get that colour blend which makes it look like real hair without having to spend a huge amount of time doing that. Okay, so you can see how that's, you've got the pieces coming on here, and then again in the second one just bring it out just a little bit like that. I think it's such a lovely stamp set, this one. There's so many different ways of using it, and I think everybody likes mermaids. It's one of those sort of magical sea creatures, isn't it, that everybody who's been to the sea would love to be or to see a mermaid. Okay, so we've got that. Now, the one thing that we haven't done is we need to do the body. Now, I'm going to just take one of the Stampin' Right markers. Now, this is the Calypso Coral. And what I'm going to do is, I'm just on the edge of this, is just lay down just a little bit, because the Calypso Coral is a really nice, we want it quite watery, so we'll just take a little bit of extra water on the aqua painter, because you want the body to be really quite skin toned, and I found that the Calypso Coral watered down is quite skin tony. You could also use our aqua pencils, sorry, our watercolour pencils. Got aqua on the brain today, and again just very lightly put those through, but you can see that gives a beautiful skin tone on there. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're just going to give just a little bit of watery feel around it, because it's a little bit plain around the back. So we need our mask again. If you were doing this yourself, I would wait just a few seconds for it to dry out, but obviously for this we are going to do it without. So we're going to use Pool Party, and we're going to use Marina Mist, and we are going to take the little water bubbles through, and if we put the mask back on, because we don't want her to be all speckledy and covered in water, so we're going to put that on and just hold it in position, and then take the water pieces, and so we're going to do one side first, obviously, like that. Move it into the centre just a little bit, and we'll take another little piece up here and another piece down on the bottom, move it across. Now, if you wanted to do it really carefully in between each one of them, you would do a couple more masks, but I'm just doing it so there's a little bit of water coming out. And then we're just going to take the Marina Mist, and we're going to put that down on the middle part to just give a little bit more colour definition in there. So stamp that up, put that one down on there, move it across just to the other side, and we'll have another little piece down there and a piece down across on the bottom, and I'm going to just put the third impression just through. So you then have your mermaids with Have a Magical Birthday, and what I would do is I would mount this on a mount of Pool Party. and this measures, so this one was 5 1/4 by 3 1/2. So this is 5 1/2 by 3 3/4. And then I would put it onto a card base. Let me show you just to see that. As I say, I'm not going to stick that on because you don't need to see me sticking that piece on. But it makes a beautiful card. Now, you could always add a little bit of glitter if you wanted to, or something like that. On this one, I just put a little bit of sparkle on there. But you could see, oh, and hold on, we've just forgotten, before I've finished, we haven't done our little hairbands. So let's just finish those ones off, and then that just gives the last bit. So this, I'm doing it in the Island Indigo, and do it last of all, obviously, because otherwise it's going to blend through and give her hair is going to be a little bit blue tingy. So there we are. Fun card for today. As always, all my details will be over on my website, which is amethyststarcrafting.blogspot.com. Thank you ever so much for joining in today, and look forward to seeing you again. Bye-bye.